Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Naughty Nerds. And in this week's episode, we have video, which is very different and very weird to do. Normally, I sit at late night recording these videos, normally with not many clothes on, but I won't put you through that today. And yeah, here we are. So every week, you're going to see my wonderful face, as well as my wonderful voice. And thank you always for being here. And yeah, we're in the house. This is the office that I've been talking to you about for a very long time now, which is exciting. You can see it in the flesh, all the wonderful things. And I've positioned myself, I might change this in future, but you can see a little nerd sign and some other bits and bobs in the background as well. And I always have to keep reminding myself to look into here and not there. Where I can see myself on the screen. But anyway, I digress, dear listener. In this week's episode, I really want to talk to you about a piece of software that has absolutely changed how we run Nautilus, how I run my to-do list, and everything that I need to put in place in an orderly fashion. It's called Monday.com, and it has completely changed the way that we run Nautilus for the better. Before, we used to use a project management system called Trello, which was great. However, it had its limitations, and we used to have a Slack channel for each individual SEO client with our team in, and we were in so many channels. One of my good friends, Scott, one of our clients, mentioned that they use Monday.com for pretty much everything, including their CRM, as well as their project management, as well as their projects and everything billing related. It's all in one platform. And I looked at it, I was a bit put off at first because there is so much more that you can do with Monday.com as opposed to Trello, which is what we used before. And it served its purpose and it's still a great platform. However, Monday.com is Trello literally on steroids, and it works so well. So as I said before, we used to use Slack, which was great. However, it was very hard to go back to key points that you needed unless you pinned conversations, and it just didn't work for what we needed it to do. So now we've sort of built in Monday.com for pretty much everything to do with Nautilus. Each team has their own board, so design, web, SEO, PPC, socials, copywriting, and I also have my to-do list on there as well. So on my to-do list, I have a list of all the action points that I need to do, and I label it Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, weekend if I need to do some stuff on the weekend, or for future. And it's not just related to my work. We're going on holiday. Tomorrow will be when this podcast goes out on now YouTube stuff. Very weird. And I've been putting all the stuff on there that we need to do, getting everyone's flight details and passports, etc., putting it all in one place. And it works very, very well because everything to do with my life, when we just bought the house, we put all of the costings for the bills on there and contractors and different bits that we're going to be doing, different things that we need to buy. And it all fits in place in Monday, everything. We've just done a competition to win 2 months worth of social media management. And if you are listening to this week's episode as of right now, which will be, I'm recording this on the 5th of September, so it might be a little bit later than that. We are giving away 2 months free of social media management, which is, I think, 2 or 3 posts per week, including graphic design, community management. It's all in. So please do. We're going to be sending out another email. So make sure you're subscribed to our email marketing list, nautilusmarketing.co.uk, and you'll be in with a chance of winning 2 free months of social media management. But anyway, we had our form that went on the back of our MailChimp campaign, which lists out all the people that have entered, not won. And on this list, I can see all the entries. I can see when they entered. I can see their name, their email address, as well as their website and their business. So it is literally Monday.com puts everything in here. I've seen people that use this system, this Monday.com, to also do their full lead generation, manage all of their leads. You can also manage and track sort of reporting. There is so many more features that you can do than we are. We're just touching the surface. And it has been fantastic. I mean, for example, on here, we've got all of the stuff for our backlinks for our clients. We've got personal reviews. We've got all the stuff about the house, and literally each department within Nautilus has its own board where we track client feedback, we track deadlines. And the great thing about Monday.com compared to Trello is you can build your own automations. And a great example of this is with our social media team. Each of our client has a card on Monday.com, which has everything to do with them. So all their branding guidelines, everything to do with that client, where we are, what we're tracking in terms of community management, for example. And we've added a column on there for reporting date, as well as the content scheduled until a certain date. So with our social media clients, we schedule content and create content for them, whether that be graphic design or reels or taking content that they've put together, and we put it into our scheduler. Now on here, I can see, okay, one of our clients is scheduled until the 29th of September. There's an automation that I built into Monday.com, which I think is about a week before that cutoff date. The person who is assigned to that card will have an automated notification on Monday that will pretty much say, hey, Tom, we've noticed that your client, Nautilus Marketing, is running a little bit low on social media posts. Go in and update as soon as you can. So there's so many different things that you can do with Monday.com other than project management. You know, if you were doing an agile work development or workflow, or you're building a website and you have your web development agency on there, you can also add your SEO agency on there too. So it's not just for your particular team. You can add guests on there as well, which makes it fantastic when you are collaborating on projects, not just internally, but externally as well. And you can hide specific columns, people that are guests of the board and aren't in your actual team. So let's say, for example, it's finances on the deal that they're working on, for example. You can set it so you're the only person that sees it. You can also integrate it with things like Google Ads. You can integrate it with things like Canva as well, which our design team use for our social media clients. That might be something I might actually record an episode in future, Canva versus Adobe, which I'm sure a lot of designers that watch and listen to this podcast will have a little debate about themselves on that, because it is a touchy subject, especially in our design team, about Adobe versus Canva. But anyway, Monday.com, I would highly recommend it. Even if you're a one-man band, one-woman band, or any gender band, because you can just put your whole business in here. You can do all of your accounts. You can list out all of your projects, your leads. So instead of using Trello, you still would need Slack, like an instant messaging. But instead of then using HubSpot, for example, and something I'm keen to do in future is maybe move all of our data from HubSpot and build out a separate sort of workflow in Monday.com for our lead generation. Because thinking about this, what you could also do is with Monday.com for your lead generation, you could have a reminder that says if there's been no activity on a card for a certain amount of days or weeks, it would send you a notification. So if you sent someone a proposal and it slips your mind to reach out to them and give them a chase, you can then use Monday.com to give yourself a bit of a notification, a bit of a kick up the bum to reach out to them. So that's another way that you can use Monday.com, not just for your projects, but also your lead generation, your CRM, and just your general businessness, which is fantastic. Because I think I looked at another system called ClickUp maybe 12 months before we started and to migrate over to Monday.com. And it looked very confusing at first. And to be honest, Monday.com did look confusing. However, over time, it's just fantastic. My life revolves around this. You can set specific notifications. You can also link it with your Slack as well. So instead of checking your notifications on Monday.com, it will send you a Slack message and say, hey, there's been activity on this card, or so-and-so has mentioned you on that card as well. So there's loads of different things that you can use it for, and you can set it up for your own particular workflow. So whereas with Trello, we really struggled because there's only certain limitations and things that you can do. Whereas with Monday.com, you can build out those automations, and it is, it's not that expensive. You pay per user and per license. But a little tip for you, if you do work with people that aren't full-time or they don't need to be on every single board, you can invite them as a guest and you don't get charged for those users as well. So it is very, very good in that sense because you can save some pennies on the way as well. If you use Monday.com, please let me know. If there's any things that I have maybe forgotten about to cover, please put it in the comments below, especially on YouTube. If you go to YouTube and type in Naughty Nerds, Nauti Nerds, the YouTube channel will come up, and we're going to be posting these full-length episodes each week on a Friday so we can use the comment section on YouTube to talk about our favorite nerdy topics and about the episode as well. And if you have enjoyed this week's episode with my wonderful face, please do leave a review on your favorite podcasting platform. If you're on YouTube, please like and comment. I would really appreciate it. And I'm super excited to bring you this content over the next coming months and maybe years, most likely. I can't believe how many episodes we've done now. I'm sure Aaron will remind me, and I might put it in the show notes or the description for this week's video. But it has been a lot of episodes, and we are still here with a fantastic listener and a viewership as well, which is super exciting. And maybe I might mess about with the settings of the camera. It's all very new to me with this placement of this microphone because it's really bothering me. But I hope you've enjoyed this week's episode. Wherever you are in the world, stay awesome, stay safe, but most importantly, dear listener, stay nerdy.